bringing you news and information from around the Pacific Command. This is your AFN Pacific Report.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of AFN Pacific Report. I'm Senior Airman Therese Garnier. Last Thursday, the Department of Defense released updated policies and procedures aimed at combating sexual assaults in the military and improving care for victims. Senior defense officials said the updated policies and procedures provide a framework that improves safety for sexual assault victims and standardizes victim assistance services across the force. The new policies also enhance prevention efforts and provide victims added confidence to come forward to report assaults and seek treatment. USS Freedom arrived in Guam this past weekend for the first time since embarking on an 8-month deployment to the Asia-Pacific region. Pat Franklin caught the arrival of the Navy's only littoral combat ship.
USS Freedom, the first ship of its class, made a port call at Naval Base Guam as part of its 8-month deployment to the Western Pacific. Freedom is a littoral combat ship designed to work in close to coastlines in areas too shallow for other Navy vessels to go. Her modular design allows for rapid reconfiguration for surface warfare, mine countermeasures, and anti-submarine warfare missions. Her Gold crew has been preparing for this deployment for some time.
Now, the training that we've gone through has been quite extensive ashore in our synthetic trainers, as well as on board the ship outside of San Diego. Doing the exercises have taken a lot of hard work, but we're all excited as a crew to be doing this deployment, this maiden deployment.
Freedom's crew will conduct a variety of activities while in port here in Guam, including resupply activities and community relations projects before continuing its 8-month deployment. Patrick Franklin, Naval Base, Guam.
Washington National Guard soldiers put on an explosive class during exercise Cobra Gold in Thailand.
Operation Cobra Gold offers 2-9 infantry soldiers a chance to learn explosive skills in Thailand. One example of this can cause a lot of damage.
It's going to be a little bit exciting. See something blow up.
Soldiers from Baker Company, 2-9 Infantry, assemble explosives while instructors from the Washington State National Guard teach techniques like setting detonation cord and shaping charges.
A lot of common misconceptions are that we're cowboys, essentially, that we tend to be a little haphazard, which isn't the case actually. The mentality for us to make it in this career field is to be very, very calculating, a lot of forethought. We're always thinking 5-6 steps ahead, so we know the outcome of our actions before we commit to them, and everything that we do is fairly deliberate.
Cobra Gold gives Sergeant Free's team a unique opportunity in training active duty soldiers.
It's actually been really great working with 2-9. It's a first opportunity for myself and the lieutenant that's with me to work with an infantry unit from the active duty side of the house, especially from Korea, and to train them up on just the basics of explosive safety and explosive handling all the way up to breaching. So we've definitely taken them from the crawl. We're going to go into the walk and then right into the run phase.
Of course, at the end of it all, when it comes down to explosives, you just have to blow something up.
Anytime you can, Sergeant, it's always a good thing to do.
From Camp Borak Thai, Thailand, I'm Army Sergeant Junior Stone.
Marines from Iwakuni headed for a training area near Hiroshima to conduct 3 days of patrol training as part of Exercise Thunder Horse.
Marines from MWSS 171 patrolled the roads of Haramura, Japan as part of Exercise Thunder Horse. While they patrolled, the convoy looked for improvised explosive devices and any enemies nearby posing a threat to the unit. Corporal Robert Kent talks about his role as security team leader.
The security team leader is essentially the middleman between the convoy commander and the fire team leaders underneath him. You know, there were times where I had to stop and just take a couple seconds just to think everything out. And after I deliberated, just go ahead and give my team the best information I possibly could and the best instructions I possibly could.
Overall, the training was a success, even surpassing the expectations of the head of operations. But this exercise is just preparation for the Integrated Training Exercise, or ITX, happening in 29 Palms later this year.
The training we got here, though it was short, I felt like it was essential, and we all learned a lot. We started off at the beginning and kind of with very minimal experience, and our leaders and our commanders, they aided us along the way, they helped us along the way in ensuring that we were learning everything we need to know in a combat situation such as this, and we are ready to move on to the next step in training.
For Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni, Japan, I'm Lance Corporal Trevor Phillips.
It's been 9 years in the making, and now it's complete. Seaman Andrew Frisbee covered the grand opening of a new landing craft air cushion facility near Sasebo and explains what it means to the base and its relationship with the surrounding community.
Go. Sailors from Fleet Activities Sasebo held a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the new landing craft air cushion facility in Yokose.
This facility is, no kidding, a world-class facility. And this facility, along with the new maintenance shops, all the tools and everything, allows us a much more flexible, much more operationally ready command and allows us to push the LCACs out much faster.
This new LCAC facility is part of the U.S. Navy's ongoing partnership with Japan.
The United States Navy, United States Army, the government of Japan, and many, many others have invested enormously. And again, this truly one-of-a-kind, world-class facility that we are very humbly and graciously honored and privileged to operate.
One of the positive benefits of this facility is that it makes operations quieter for the surrounding community.
The hush houses are truly unique. They're the only two like it in the world. When we put an LCAC inside and close the doors, we can spin up the engines and you and I can have a conversation outside without raising our voices.
For the sailors, moving all of their equipment to Yokose was a long task.
The process is tedious.
There's a lot of work that went into it.
Getting your stuff together, taking what you need.
All in all, we got all our stuff over here. It's all secure, it's all working, it's all that matters.
And those sailors are now ready to take over operations at the new facility.
The real important message, though, I think, is that it's operated and maintained by the finest men and women in the world, the sailors of the United States Navy.
And now that they're settled into their new facility, these sailors are ready to take LCAC operations in the Pacific Fleet to another level. Seaman Andrew Frisbee, Fleet Activities Sasebo, Japan.
Coming up, a threatened species gets a new lease on life in Korea. But first, let's take a look around the Pacific Command in today's snapshots.
U.S. and South Korean soldiers compete in a relay race during Warrior Friendship Week at Camp Casey. Sailors aboard USS Nimitz depart their home port to prepare for an upcoming deployment. Service members at Misawa Air Base mark the end of Women's History Month with a retreat ceremony. And that's a look around the Pacific Command in today's snapshots.
A rare tree in Korea is getting a second chance at life, thanks to the efforts of the U.S. Army.
The sun rises above the hills and filters through the trees as a secluded grove of Korean king willow trees await their spring debut. This is not your ordinary king willow forest. The willow trees will soon find life in another area.
What we're doing today is continuing something we started last year, where we had a collaboration started with the range personnel here from Camp Carroll, and here at Masan we're transplanting a very rare willow species. It's the Korea king willow. Apparently not too many of them left around the peninsula, so we want to spread them to other areas, in particular area 4 where they're protected.
Mr. Kunicki studies the branches of king willows in between their first and second year of growth to determine where to separate the branch from the tree. The branch is then pruned to encourage regeneration and allow the cutting to sprout.
Willow that has a lot of old branches and a lot of new branches, so I'm figuring I'm going to find something good in here that I like, and I like what I see already. I've got a branch here, a 3-year-old branch that has a lot of shoots. As the trees grow out laterally, the branches will tend to shoot other branches up vertically just to balance things out, and that's what's happening right here with all these nice shoots.
Mr. Kunicki will soak the cuttings in water for 1 week, then transplant the new king willows to Camp Carroll's wetlands. Army Sergeant Rick Bush, Masan, Korea.
Located in the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia is home to a contingent of sailors who provide key logistic support for the U.S. military. You might think life on a small remote island would be tedious at best, but you'd be wrong. thanks in part to the efforts of MWR.
There was big fun aboard Diego Garcia at the Big Top Carnival hosted by MWR.
MWR here is constant. Duty stations I've had in the past, it's been something that, you know, we plan a couple weeks in advance and then you do something maybe a couple months later. Whereas here there's something different every day of the week.
The island room was packed with personnel eager to participate in the many games and contests scheduled for the night. Spirits were high and bellies were full, but they weren't the only ones winning.
Definitely best MWR out of all the bases I've been stationed at. When you come out here, you always have events to do. Builds the morale of everybody before we go out on deployment.
With the island MWR around, fun's not a question of chance, it's a guarantee. Reporting from Diego Garcia, I'm Seaman Erin Everett.
A celebrity fitness coach made an appearance at Yokosuka to help the community spring into fitness.
At Fleet Activities Yokosuka, Navy Fitness is ready to end winter with a leap into the new season. And they set aside today to do it.
So we're here for our Spring into Fitness Expo.
Fitness and life coach from television's The Biggest Loser came over to help rev up the expo.
The number one thing I'd like to do is commend you guys for the strength from within that you possess for being away from the United States and being away from some of your families. That takes a lot of strength.
Petty Officer Shamiro Purifoy, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
That's it for this newscast. From all of us here at AFN Pacific, thanks for watching.